Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about having a Cancer Ascendant in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the rising signs, and they were a little bit concise, and some people would call them to be snappy. But what I decided to do is start another series on the ascendant or rising signs, and where it would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. But anyway, first off, as far as Cancer Ascendant goes, the appearance and the physical body, well, they could have that kind of round look or roundish visage. Cancer Ascendant on average tends to be small in stature, smaller than average in size. They also can have a round or oval face. The complexion tends to be pale. The eyes tend to be gray in color. The eyebrows could be very arching. They could be very, very, you could say curved. And the features tend to be small and diminutive. Another thing too is that proportionately the upper body is often a lot bigger than the lower body. Cancer rising can have a very large upper body in contrast to the lower body. Now, Arnold Schwarzenegger, renowned bodybuilder, Arnold Schwarzenegger has a Cancer Ascendant, and he has obviously a very large chest and upper body, and I know a lot of that's attributed to him working out relentlessly. So, but anyway. And also too, a Cancer rising appearance can also have, the teeth, the quality is generally not good. And, the forehead can be very broad, and it can be kind of like receding, kind of rounded in shape as well. And, some other things, the arms and legs can be short as well on Cancer Ascendant. The hair color tends to be brown, a brownish color. So, and the thing about Cancer rising, it just as far as how they the appearance goes, again the chest can be very can have very large chest size. The women can often be very beautiful and voluptuous. Now, as far as the ascendant is also connected with the outer demeanor, that outer personality, the astrological mask or facade of the person. And outwardly, Cancer Ascendant can be very sensitive, and especially sensitive to criticism and ridicule sometimes when it's just constructive. And also too, Cancer Ascendant can be very introverted, sometimes insecure, but very sympathetic to the needs of others. They have to be careful that they're not, imposed upon too much, because some people will capitalize and take advantage of Cancer rising sympathetic nature. Cancer rising can be very emotional as well, very outwardly emotional, and also very tenacious, dedicated, and devoted. Cancer rising, even though it's a cardinal sign, could actually be very adaptable. It's interesting about Cancer rising is that they can be adaptable, but yet they're very sensitive to their environment, like the other two water signs. You could say in this case water examples, and water ascendants, Scorpio and Pisces ascendant. And also, Cancer rising, as far as the outer demeanor and personality goes, could be nostalgic as well. And the thing too about the ascendant, it's also connected with the first impression. And on a first impression, Cancer rising or Cancer Ascendant, one's a synonym for the other, can be caring, nurturing, devoted, dedicated, nostalgic, moody, temperamental. Also has a very, can be introverted. Of course, a lot of, some of that could be predicated on other things in the chart, such as having a preponderance of planets on the top half of the chart, or the majority of major astrological influences and masculine signs could help modify that to some degree. But generally, by itself, Cancer rising is very introverted personality, and again can be sensitive and sympathetic to the needs of others. And the ascendant is also connected with one's outlook on life. And Cancer rising, and considering it's feminine, by itself, can be somewhat negative. But the thing, and a lot of it may have to do with the fact that they may be brooding over past hurts. The thing is, because Cancer rising can be very moody and fickle and temperamental, their outlook on life can vacillate. In some cases, sometimes it may actually be more positive than negative, but a lot of it can be dependent on the mood Cancer rising is actually in. And the thing about the ascendant too, it's also associated with our early childhood. Now, during the early childhood of the Cancer Ascendant person, there may have been he or she may have been dominated by more introverted, home-related activities, and a lot of may have received a lot of TLC, tender loving care, and it maybe had a lot of people, family members expressed a lot of care and sympathy toward him or her. And this is somebody that may have had more activity with family members than most. And the thing too is, it could be one, whereas a baby, Cancer rising may have cried more so than most other ascendants on average too. And very, he or she may have been very protected, and again, more introverted during this time as well. And there may have been some interest in some family games such as Twister. I would include Family Feud, but the early childhood is a relatively young age, and the person may not have really understood how to play a game like that. But anyway, also too, the rising sign or ascendant is associated with new beginnings. So for new beginnings for a Cancer ascendant might be done with a lot of dedication, devotion, care, a lot of tenacity, done very emotional manner. Might have had assistance with home, family members. The new beginnings may also be connected with a Cancerian type of subject or interest, such as history, laundry, plumbing, real estate, home renovation, or remodeling, as some examples. Now, as far as the ascendant is also connected with one's energy and vitality. And Cancer rising is not exactly, as far as doesn't exactly have a robust vitality, and also too, it's generally lower than most people. Cancer rising has to be careful what he or she does in terms of the energy expended. They could get tired a little bit quicker than the average person. The constitution tends to be weak as well. They might be more susceptible to just general sicknesses and illnesses more so than most people, but there's greater susceptibility to the chest and breast area, stomach, ribs. Those are places where they tend to get more of an illness more so than most people on average. So those are the because that's what corresponds. Body parts correspond with the zodiac sign Cancer. Now also too, the ascendant, rising sign, first house cusp. It's also connected with a grandparent and people prominent in one's early childhood. So those people maybe Cancer Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply embody, Cancer, characteristics. They could be people, that are very, nurturing, caring, sympathetic, but yet moody, temperamental, fickle, rather emotional. And remember that the ascendant is also connected with defense mechanisms. So, it's what we do often when we're not in a sure or safe situation. Cancer rising might show certain vulnerability and a lot of emotion in those instances. And, when something is, unsure or unsafe, for Cancer rising. And anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.